So your AI assistant is amazing, right? But it's got this one huge blind spot. Today, we're diving into the key that unlocks its true potential to actually interact with your world using something called remote AI and streamable HTTP.
I mean, we've all seen what assistants like Claude or ChatGPT can do. They're incredible at generating content, writing code, summarizing massive documents. They've literally changed the way we work. But here's the thing. Try asking your AI to do something like, I don't know, update your team's project board or pull a live sales report. It just hits a wall. And that's the critical gap we're talking about today, the gap between all that AI power and your team's very specific, very secure workflow.
For an AI to be genuinely helpful to your team, it has got to break out of its digital box. The key is a specific protocol, and we're about to break down exactly how it works. Okay, so first things first, let's really put a name to this challenge. You could think of it as the AI walled garden problem. It's this fundamental isolation that really limits how useful it can be.
I mean, really think about it. The AI model itself is sitting on some server somewhere, completely cut off. Your company's task manager, your CRM, your internal database, all that stuff lives behind your own security walls. The AI has absolutely no way to see or touch any of it. Not natively, anyway.
So the big question is, how do we build a bridge over that wall? The solution isn't about tearing down your security. It's about opening up a really smart, secure channel for communication.
And the solution is something called a Remote Model Context Protocol Server, or MCP server. Yeah, I know, it's a mouthful, but don't let the name scare you. Just think of it like a universal translator. It lets the AI make requests in its language, and the server translates those into specific actions that your tools can understand and then carry out.
Okay, so that brings up the next obvious question, right? You've got an AI client over here, a remote server over there. They need to have this constant, fast, reliable chat over the public internet. How on earth do you manage that without it becoming a total clunky mess?
Well, the answer is a much smarter way for them to talk, using a modern spin on a web protocol that, we all use every single day. This is where Streamable HTTP enters the picture. So here's the key difference. You know how when you visit a website, your browser asks for a page, gets it, and then hangs up? Well, Streamable HTTP is different. It opens up a persistent line, a connection that just stays open. This lets the AI and the server just shoot messages back and forth in real time without having to reconnect over and over again. The best way to think about it is this. Traditional HTTP is like mailing a letter. You send it, you wait for a reply, and that's it. The exchange is done. Streamable HTTP, that's like a phone call. The line stays open, and you can have a continuous back-and-forth conversation. Okay, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Hold on a second, don't we already have WebSockets for this stuff? And yeah, that's a fantastic question. WebSockets are built for real-time communication, so why do we need something new? Well, the answer really just comes down to being practical. In a big corporate environment, WebSockets can be a real pain. They're technically an upgrade from HTTP, which means they often need special server setups and can get blocked by strict firewalls that have no idea what they are. But streamable HTTP, this is the clever part. It just looks like regular web traffic. So it just sails right through all that existing infrastructure. That makes it way, way easier to deploy and manage when you're talking about a large scale. Okay, so we've got our reliable connection, but what are the AI and the server actually talking about? Let's take a look at the anatomy of that conversation. You can think of it like a simple four-step dance. First, they shake hands. That's the initialize call, to see what they can both do. Then the AI asks, hey, what data do you have for me? That's list resources. Next, it asks, okay, and what actions can you perform? That's list tools. And finally, it gives a command, something like call tool, to actually do something, like creating that task on your project board we talked about. All right, let's put all these pieces together. We've got the protocol, we've got the conversation. Now let's see what kind of really powerful enterprise-grade system this actually lets us build. The beautiful thing here is that because this is all built on standard web technology, you can build a seriously robust system. Just picture it. You've got multiple AI clients, maybe your desktop app, a phone app, a tool on the web, all talking seamlessly through a load balancer to a whole cluster of different tool servers. This is an architecture that's designed for serious scale. So the question becomes, when do you actually need to go through all this and set up a remote server?
Well, here's a pretty practical guide. If you're building tools for a whole team, if you need that centralized control and governance, and if you're planning to scale up, a remote server is definitely the way to go. But hey, if you're just prototyping on your own or working with personal data on your local machine, a simpler local server will work just fine.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the huge benefits here, because this is really why this approach is so powerful. 1, it's compatible with all the infrastructure companies already have. 2, it scales out just like any other modern web service. 3, it's secure right out of the box, using standard encryption. And 4, for the developers out there, it's an absolute dream. You get to use all the familiar tools you already know to build and debug everything.
Look, all this tech is super impressive, but it's really just a means to an end. So what's the big picture here? What's the future that this is all building toward? It's really about creating a truly interconnected world for AI.
The real vision, the real power here, isn't just about connecting one AI to one tool. It's about establishing a common language, an open standard that all AIs and all tools can use to communicate. That's the real game changer.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Just imagine a world where this is the standard. An AI could draft an email, then turn around and update your sales CRM, and then book a meeting room across 3 totally different systems, all seamlessly, because they all speak the exact same language. This protocol, it's not just a fancy connection, it's really the foundation for that completely interconnected future.